being with other giraffe. This is Keto, and she has settled in really well with our two giraffes, Zarafa and Jimmy Yu. Eva is a very independent calf, so he's happy to be off on his own. The last giraffe calf that we had here was the dear old Yoda, who passed away recently, so it was 29 years ago. Having something that small come into their world, it rocked them. They were like, whoa, what is that? But they've been fantastic with him. He is just adorable. His coat is still that baby velvety calf coat, unlike the coarse hairs of his mum. And his ossicones, those horns on his head, are still soft baby hair and so adorable.
With this giraffe herd now complete, it's a new beginning for the African Savannah exhibit, which is starting to come to life.
Having 4 giraffe in here now is like, wow, this is going to be fantastic. And there's more still to come. So we've got Zebra arriving next week, which we're gearing up for. I think it's getting better and better.
To complete the migration, many other African animals are on their way. They'll be quick and curious, the fast and feathered. In returning to the zoo after an absence of 5 long years, where we go? Exciting new chapter for all these animals, and also for Taronga Zoo. Out at Taronga Western Plains Zoo in Dubbo, there's room to roam. And due to the limitless space, animals can be kept in larger herds. But there's one very special herd that fulfills a very important role. Native to the Mongolian plains, the Taki are the world's last true wild horse.
Taki's the Mongolian name. Spirit horse is basically what it comes down to. These guys are the spirit of Mongolia. They're an ancient horse and they're just an amazing animal. They are very different to domestic horses. These guys have more chromosomes, so more genetics than a normal horse. Normal horse would have 64, these guys have 66. They're entirely their own species. They're very hardy animals. They have to exist in a country that has a very wide range of temperatures, goes down to -25. But it also gets quite warm because it is a desert area.
In the 1970s, Taki numbers in the wild dwindled down to around only 20 individuals, putting them on a direct path to extinction. But breeding programs in zoos have brought them back from the brink.
Taronga Western Plains Zoo have played a huge role in this reintroduction program. We sent back 7 animals in the mid-90s. They were released in the wild in Mongolia. They've successfully bred. We're 20 years down the track, they're still breeding. It's brought the numbers up to around 1,900 animals, and they're doing really well. This group of Taki, they're very important. We've got 18 animals on exhibit here, all made up of mothers and foals.
Like all wild animals at the zoo, keepers and vets need to be especially careful when working with the Taki.
They will kick, and you do not want to be in the way of those animals kicking.
Unlike domestic horses, hoof maintenance requires a general anaesthetic. And today, Senior Vet Ben is administering it, but from a distance.
Clara is our subject animal today. We are going to target her with an anaesthetic dart. She becomes anaesthetised, and then we'll be able to access her to do some reparative work on her feet.
Taki usually wear their hooves down naturally, but some will grow at a quicker rate than others, which can cause big problems if left unattended.
Pedicure for an animal that has evolved to negotiate its life standing on one toe. A pedicure for a one-toed beast. Herd animals are very sensitive to the perception of risk around being isolated and targeted. I mean, that's how they work predation in life.
It's important that the herd doesn't suspect anything's out of the ordinary, so approaching the yard is a stealth mission for them. Seeing their identical turkey in the holding area, Ben has to be sure it's the right one. Taronga has a long and proud history of conservation. And one of the main ways it achieves this is through its breeding programs.